Uh, would you handle your friendships and relationships as a teenager any differently, knowing what you know now?
Absolutely. I have to admit, one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is in Thessalonians. Don't ask me where. Um, but it talks about leading a quiet life, minding your own business, and it's really, really simple. And I think that not just during your teen years, but throughout your life, it's really good to pay close attention to that scripture. And God isn't saying just don't interfere and turn your back, but if you mind your own business, you can offer different ways to support people without sticking your nose in. So I think that quite often we want to help someone when we rush in and we start to help them, but they haven't necessarily asked. So I think I'd want to gauge that a bit better.
Right. So, Cavell, would you handle if you look back to your time as a teenager and what you know now, if you knew it back then, would you handle your friendships and relationships any differently?
I definitely would. And what came to me actually through looking at this was the amount of selfishness that was in my life. And I would truly encourage you to try and pay very close attention when you're making decisions about the needs of your friends and your family and those that are close to you, and maybe try and put their needs and wants before your own.
I know you mentioned your friendships and relationships and how one has stood by you ever since Bible college. But we see a lot of teenagers, particularly those in a relationship, making career decisions or tertiary education decisions based on their relationships. Would you have any advice for those thinking of doing that? Like my boyfriend is going to there, so I'm going to study at that same place just to be close to him.
Oh, first of all, just really be right with God and have a strong prayer life and seek God's direction and have Him guide you through that path of your life.
These days, making career decisions is guys find it quite hard to work out what they should look at for a career. I don't know what sources you looked at for career advice, but would you look at those same sources or would you look at different sources?
Truly, I did not look at sources for career advice. It was like get away from home as quick as I could. And I mean, that was my life. I would encourage again, what is your passion? What do you love to do? If you could find something that you love to do and make a paycheck doing it, it would be a beautiful thing. So I would say seek your heart. And, where would God have you? Yeah.
Uh, we were talking just now about growing up in Christian homes and things like that. So there are some teenagers growing up in the church, which we're thrilled about.
Mm-hmm.
But even as a teenager, there's things that you put a lot of your time and effort into. So looking back, would you change how much focus you put into your godly calling and ministry? Because some people think, well, that's for when I'm an adult, so I'm going to delay my efforts into that until I'm old enough.
Right. Again, it's hard to put myself back in my teen years and try and answer these questions if I knew then what I know now. I need a sec. Sorry.
That's fine.
So my focus back then was, as I said earlier, very selfish and took me down a lot of wrong roads. For those of you that have been raised in a Christian home and you have parents that run after God, You are blessed, truly blessed. I would say if the word of your testimony could be that you have never walked away from God, it would be a beautiful and glorious thing for you and for our God that we serve. And what a blessing for your parents as well, and your children. It's not just you here. There's a whole lot of other people. You know, God called me first and foremost to be his daughter, and I didn't hear that call until I was a lot of years into life. But if you've heard that call and you know that God is your Father, then may he be your focus.